How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the Super Bowl commercials, the hypocrisy, the outrage, the praise, or whatever else comes as a result of the game. Now, before I even get into the commercials and whatnot, I just want to say the game was garbage. It was very boring. I like football, okay? I wanted to see a good game. I watched the whole game. But you're talking about a defensive struggle. I don't know if you want to call it the Super Bowl or the punt bowl. They kept punting the ball, a bunch of 3-and-outs. It was, I think, 3-3 going into the fourth quarter. It was not an exciting game. Now, the Patriots did win, of course, because, Tom Brady, the GOAT, 6 rings, ain't no comparison. People want to call him a cheater, all this, that, and the third, but it doesn't really matter. Winners win, losers lose. And I like how during the game he called Reagan for a run play that ran to the right. That was fantastic. So shout out to the New England Patriots, Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, Julian Edelman, Gronkowski, the whole squad for winning that game. You guys did a fantastic job. But let's move on from that particular part of the game and get on to the commercials, the outrage, and all the virtue signaling. Cardi B, and if you don't know who that is, I'll put a little information about her in the box. She is a stripper turned rapper, and she's been very outspoken on social media about Colin Kaepernick, against the NFL. Really, really popular person on social media. Now, she came out and said that she did not want to do the halftime show because she wanted to, quote unquote, stand with Kaepernick. I guess it's somehow wrong that Kaepernick's not in the league. Like, the NFL has to hire whoever the public wants him to hire. They can't do whatever they want as, independent people, but that's a whole different story. And for now, I digress. So she doesn't want to do the halftime show, right? You have instead Maroon 5 and Travis Scott. The show wasn't really all of that. Oh, that's a whole different story right there with the halftime show, because Adam Levine from Maroon 5 took his shirt off and people are talking about, oh, you could show nipples of a man, but not a woman. It's like, all right, you guys are adults. You're probably 40, 50 years old. I would think you would know the difference between male nudity and female nudity. If a man has his shirt off, that is not nudity. If a woman has hers off with no bra or nothing on, that is nudity. Very simple. I don't understand how we can be adults in the year 2019 and not know that. But again, I digress. Let me get back to Cardi B. So she doesn't want to be in the halftime show, right? However, she was in a pregame performance dancing on stage with Robert Kraft, who was the owner of the New England Patriots, who won the Super Bowl. Okay, I think this was on Saturday, the day before the actual big game. And then during the Super Bowl, she was in a Pepsi commercial with Lil Jon, making her little noise. He made his noise, and that wasn't a problem. So you can do all that. You can get paid from the NFL, or indirectly because of the NFL. You can appear in the commercial for the NFL game during the NFL game. You can be in the pre-show of the NFL game dancing on stage with the owner of the NFL team, and that's okay. You draw the line where you say you don't want to do the halftime show because you want to support Colin Kaepernick. It doesn't make any sense. A lot of rappers and entertainers were in Atlanta, Georgia, which is where the game was held, for a variety of reasons. They doing club walkthroughs at club, I don't know, Pill Popper, ladies in Free Before 11, people like Puff, 50 Cent, et cetera, so on and so forth. They're doing club appearances, parties. They're doing all kinds of stuff surrounding the game. Some of them may even go to the game. They're in commercials during the game. They're in the pre-show. Like, why is it that the halftime show was off limits? It doesn't make any sense. I think it's because people like JayZ have put these rules out here. This is like Los Angeles politics, really crazy and weird stuff. Like in LA, if you are in the entertainment world, if you're out in public and you have an old phone, that's like, you really can't do that. You get ostracized for having an old phone out in public. So to a person that's a normal human being, a regular citizen, it doesn't make any sense at all. But to them, it makes all the sense in the world, because these are the rules that they have set up for themselves. So I don't really care too much about the outrage of, performing at the halftime show. I was looking at the hypocrisy of it. You can do all these other things, but not the halftime show. And Colin Kaepernick is the center of attention in this whole situation. We're talking about the halftime show. He doesn't even talk for himself. This guy barely even tweets. That's one thing about Colin Kaepernick. He's seen as some kind of freedom fighter or leader, but when have you ever seen a freedom fighter or leader that doesn't even talk? He doesn't do any kind of TV interviews, no talks on his own particular platform. I think I've only heard him talk once, really, out of this whole situation, and that was in a Nike commercial for like 20 seconds at most. So you talk when you're getting paid to talk for a shoe company that is the biggest sponsor of the NFL, but at the same time, you want to tell me I need to protest the NFL because why? What is the actual protest reason? I'm still trying to figure that out because I'm seeing a lot of people like your JayZs of the world, regular normies wearing a Colin Kaepernick black jerseys, which I think are sold by Nike, which is, again, a big sponsor of the NFL. But again, I move on. I see them trying to say that Colin Kaepernick should be hired in the NFL, and that's the reason why they're protesting. So if the NFL is so bad and you're protesting them, why would you want Colin Kaepernick to be hired? They also say that the NFL does not provide safety for its players and it's a dangerous place, but you want to go back there to work, Colin Kaepernick? I don't understand what your actual reasoning is behind the protest. There's this whole thing about police brutality. What can the NFL do about police brutality? You can do all the kneeling all you want to, but how is that going to change so-called police brutality? It doesn't make any sense. What is the NFL going to do? The NFL is not a governing body in the United States. They can't change laws and make rules. All they are is a place where a lot of black men, by the way, are employed, making millions of dollars. I think the NFL is the largest concentration of black millionaires in the world aside from the NBA. But a lot of these so-called black folks want to protest the NFL. A lot of these so-called woke folks that want to help the black man and fight white supremacy want to protest the NFL, which is employing a bunch of black millionaires. It doesn't make any sense. And to move on from that, I think that the guys that are in the NBA, like your LeBron James, your Kevin Durant, wearing Kaepernick jerseys are totally confused because what are you protesting for? Are you protesting for his right, quote unquote, to kneel during the national anthem and that he should not be blacklisted from the league because of that? If you think that way, then what about your own league? Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, a.k.a. Chris Jackson, had the same thing happen to him in the NBA, which is why there's a rule right now in the NBA that you have to stand for the national anthem. That rule still stands. So you got guys like Mark Cuban coming out talking about, oh, the anti-kneeling rule in the NFL is racist, it's ridiculous. And people like LeBron James talking about the NFL owners are slave owners. That doesn't make any sense because the NBA has the exact same rule. Matter of fact, Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf was suspended for doing that because he was protesting for his own reason. He became Muslim or whatever. And after the suspension, he was blacklisted, blackballed from the league, couldn't play anymore. Again, last time I saw Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf was in a Big Three Ice Cube game. And he was still good. I mean, back in his day when he was playing, he was like a Steph Curry. It really, if you look at the guys, they look the exact same physically in their face, skin tone, height, weight, all of that. And they had a very similar game. So imagine if Steph Curry was to be, banned and blacklisted from the league right now. Oh, it'd be different. But because it happened in the 90s with Chris Jackson, a.k.a. Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, it's not a big thing. These people have no kind of consistency. They're hypocritical. They do weird things, these Los Angeles rules that don't make any sense, that are put forth by former dope boys who promoted a drug dealing lifestyle like JayZ. I'm not really trying to hear it. All I really want to do when I watch football, basketball, whatever the case may be, is to enjoy a game. I am a political junkie, and you guys know that if you watch me for a while. If you can see me right here for the first time, you pretty much will understand that. But I want to have a place where I don't have to have politics shoved in my face. All right. I don't want to see the SJW style commercials with all kind of so-called diversity. I don't want to hear anything about toxic masculinity. I don't want to see anybody kneeling. I don't want to see anybody trying to attack Gladys Knight for singing the national anthem beautifully in her home state and city of Atlanta, Georgia. And before I close, I'm going to say one more thing. You had two young girls singing before Gladys Knight. I think they're called Chloe and Halle. If I'm wrong about that, let me know in the comments below. But I heard that those were Beyonce's artists. So JayZ says, don't perform during the halftime, boycott the NFL, all this and that. But JayZ's wife has two artists who perform during the game. That tells you right there, this is all fake. It's all phony. It's just a bunch of actors virtue signaling. They don't even practice what they preach. They're going to get money regardless of what. And they put out certain things that they say they're not going to do, but they find ways around it. Oh, I hate the NFL. I won't perform during the halftime show, but I'll perform during the game in a commercial where I get paid money rather than the halftime show, which I don't get paid money. I'll leave that right there for now, but I want to hear your thoughts. What do you think? Do you think that all these people virtue signaling are just doing so because they want to look good for people? They don't want to appear to be racist. They want to appear to be down with the cause. Do you think they're hypocritical? Is it okay for a guy like JayZ to say, don't perform during the halftime show, but he has clients from his Rock Nation marketing company that are in the NFL? Why is it that these guys talking about protests at NFL aren't talking to the guys that are actually in the league itself? How are you going to give a pass to the guys that work for the NFL, but if you want to work with the NFL in the halftime show, that's bad, but you can work with the NFL indirectly in a Pepsi commercial? It's really silly, but whatever your comments are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.